Happy Friday. Today is the 24th of April 2023 and I want to introduce you to the DAM Playbook's Meta Optimal Strategies. So what we're going to do today is we're going to briefly go through scaling your content lifecycle with marketing, sales, product and creative operations as a cohesive whole within a Meta Optimal strategy. So basically what we want to do is we want to move from ad hoc to innovative content distribution practices using this particular strategy. So I won't focus on companies that are still at the ad hoc and the define space. Basically, you're still working out how to create a central version of the truth for digital asset management. We are going to focus predominantly on optimized and innovative, which uses the same principle of one version of the truth, but it's one version of the data model truth. This will make sense as we get into it. Anyhow, at the optimal level, a content distribution portal is optimized to improve efficiency and effectiveness. Automation and workflows are used to streamline content distribution processes, and advanced analytics are used to measure and improve performance. There is a continuous improvement process in place to ensure that the content distribution portal remains up to date and effective. Now, as you probably noticed, everybody's still screaming about the new shiny things for artificial intelligence. None more so than the DAM industry itself. You know, vendors are coming up with ways to show how artificial intelligence auto tags images and recommends content. However, and we're also seeing from the analyst companies that they're talking about the marketing, advertising campaigns done in an agile way, which is great. However, we need to step back. We need to think specifically about our data models. And as I get into the demo, you'll see what I'm talking about when you bring, people, workflows, software tools, tasks together as one under a data model format. So anyhow, we want to get to innovative. Everybody wants to get to innovative, and they're going to be able to use, the best machine learning tools to iterate upon content and people and processes, and ultimately create the sophisticated level of prompting, the prompts that are written into AI, to go to the next level of content distribution. So at the innovative level, at this level, the content distribution portal is fully integrated with other business processes to create a comprehensive content ecosystem. Makes sense. Advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning are used to automate processes and improve content distribution performance. The content distribution portal is constantly evolving to meet these changing needs. So what we're looking at is streamlined workflow and improved efficiency, because it allows members to access, share and collaborate on assets and data across departments. It reduces resource time, increases productivity, reduced cost, minimizing duplicate work and promoting content reuse. Now, anyone who's new to the DAM Playbook will know that we've been quantifying users, use case scenarios, requirements, specifically to vendor capability. So we take in a whole heap of data on users and then we match those users directly to the vendors that are capable of the job. But today I want to show that we can reduce that level of complexity down to one specific use case. And that use case is going to cover marketing, sales, creative ops, you name it, because it's an all-you-can-eat strategy, which changes the game. So stick with me. So a meta strategy of data models. This is data 101. So in most enterprises, often we see scattered information and data across various departments in systems, resulting in the silo and the traditional difficulties of accessing, sharing, analyzing, and getting real metrics on the data itself. This fragmentation not only hinders efficiency and collaboration, but also affects decision making and business performance. So we're going to tackle this in various ways, and we're going to call it Meta Genius Optimal, which involves meta tasks, meta users, and advanced taxonomy, control vocabularies, and metadata standards. And the reason for this is we want to process and codify the content maturity of these silos. So there's current state assessment, and then future settings, goals and objectives, use cases tied to this task-based workflows, software, tasks, you name it, is all at the data level. And then we can develop a content distribution strategy, an end-to-end content lifecycle that's going to run and operate within these content distribution portals. Now, in order to do that, we need to understand the content lifecycle at the meta-optimal level. So let me show you what I mean here. So here we're on the DAM Playbook, the meta-optimal approach to bringing these scenarios, teams, tasks, workflows, software tools, and content types all into individual, team, workflow, software, and content portals. Everything you see here becomes its own portal because you're generating data that's going to build these portals on the fly and automate them. So let's have a look at a traditional user in the context of the DAM Playbook. Some of you may not know this, so let me just show you some of the data that we capture at the user level. As you can see, we go right down to a granular level, profiling users and nice to haves, must haves, unsures, for a standard requirement for an enterprise within digital asset management. And that's our standard bread and butter work. We take this data, we use some analysis and an algorithm to match that directly to vendor capability. But today, with Meta Optimal, I want to look at the users within departments, within teams, within the software tools that they're using, and the content types that they're producing. Because obviously we don't want to be this guy making the wrong decisions based off of wrong data. So in order to do that, we have to focus on our data models. So we see here is a marketing operations manager, and she coexists in two different teams, creative operations and market operations. And she's responsible for a number of different tools that make up the tasks and the workflows of those individual users. And as you'll see, some users use multiple tools. So if we look here, we're looking at SEO and site auditing and the types of tools that you would use to do that. Alternatively, we might be cross-analyzing information from sales, marketing, and CRM. And the CRM might encompass across many of the teams and the work groups. So effectively, what we're doing is we're codifying the user to specific teams, and those teams will have workflows and they will have software tools. And so we are looking at, let's say, content operations in scope of what are the workflows that are used and the tasks that are part of the methodology of creating the content types for the campaigns. And further, we're looking at tasks. So, what is the process of a task? So in asset development, creative asset management, and copy creation, image creation, video creation, quality assurance, and timely delivery is all part of the asset development. And within the enterprise, we have a number of tools that are specifically used to do that particular job. But also we have workflows. So if we look at a user profile, we look at typical workflows, we might look at the keywords that are used in those workflows, and again, this is part of Meta Optimal, and the tasks and the processes for doing that. So let's drill into marketing automation specialist. So first of all, for any sort of marketing automation strategy, the step is, the specialist is to work with the marketing team to develop a marketing automation strategy that aligns with the organization's goals and targets. So we're going to need a marketing automation platform management to do that, maybe. Or we certainly would need data management and integrations. We need to look at campaign execution, reporting and analytics, and continuous improvement. So here we are with the meta level of information. Here are the keywords that surround the workflow, and here are the tasks and the people and the tools that are involved within that process. So if we now move on to tools, very briefly, we can see there are hundreds of tools that the teams and the users use within their tasks and their workflows to create content. So if we quickly look at the departments and the teams and the content types and the tasks, we can very quickly see that the aggregated information isn't just in one silo, it goes across multiple silos. So for instance, ActiveCampaign, which is used for email, CRM and automation, covers marketing operations and sales operations. It may even go into product operations within your organization. So again, this silo-centric data model isn't going to work for everyone, or it's certainly not going to work for the capacity of the whole workflow of the organization itself. And again, by codifying it and also quantifying how well people within the organization find a particular software tool for their workflow and their tasks, is a great way of saying, okay, we have 10 CRM tools here. Which is the best one across our organization for ease of use, quality of support, ease of setup, and ease of doing business? So once we aggregate it under a meta profile, a meta optimal profile, we can very quickly get to a point where we are producing content that is going to be specific for the goal at hand, reducing our costs, analyzing data, sharing best practices. So finally, let's go into how we would visualize this in a meta-optimal world. Let's go into creative operations for a visual look of this. And here we see we've got our users, we've got our tasks, we've got our workflow, and we've got our software tools. And so we could look in what tools does a marketing compliance manager use to do their workflows and their tasks. And we can see a number of tasks here: compliance monitoring, compliance planning, regulatory knowledge. And then each one of these also has a workflow, it has their keywords, and then it has the tasks they need and the tools that some within the organization are using. And you can add more tools and reduce them, but ultimately what you're trying to do is you're trying to get to a codified process where everybody within the organization understands the content lifecycle to get to the point of this meta-optimal world where they're then able to plug these data models directly into artificial intelligence and machine learning models. I hope this demo has been useful. I'm happy to give demos. We're looking at doing various webinars and workshops around this, but yes, I forgot one more thing. Hold on, let's quickly go back to here. Excuse me. I wanted to show why this model itself lends itself to, here we go, one version of the truth. And this is, in order to service the teams, the tasks, the workflows and the software tools and the content types, you need all these keywords to come into play. So obviously, if you're trying to do this in a traditional sense of a demo workflow with a vendor, you don't want to be saying, oh, well, now we're going to go through 120 use cases. But this use case is for a super admin optimal, all you can eat. Everything is a must-have. And as we see here, you'll see there won't be anything other than a must-have against this particular use case scenario. And in actual fact, what that then does is everything is a use case and a must-have. You can very quickly render that against the 42 vendors that have passed 10 core characteristics. We have something like 130 different requirements for a standardized RFP that is all must-have, no nice-to-haves anymore. And then you will get to the final vendor very quickly. In fact, we believe this reduces the lead time by 6 to 9 months. Anyway, hope that's been useful. Reach out to me, mark@iqequity.co.uk. Happy to talk through this and show you more. Cheers.